with humility, really unassumed. It is with a sentiment even of awe that I pen the opening sentence of this work. For of all conceivable subjects, I approach the reader with the most solemn, the most comprehensive, the most difficult, the most august. What term shall I find sufficiently simple in their sublimity, sufficiently sublime in their simplicity, for the mere enunciation of my theme? I design to speak of the physical, metaphysical, and mathematical, of the material and spiritual universe, of its essence, its origin, its creation, its current condition, and its destiny. I shall be so rash, moreover, to challenge the conclusions and thus, in effect, question the sagacity of many of the greatest and most justly reverenced of men. My general proposition, then, is this. In the original unity of the first thing lies the secondary cause of all things, with the germ of their inevitable annihilation. He who on the top of it casts his eye leisurely around is affected chiefly by the extent and diversity of the sea. Only by a rapid whirling on his heel could he hope to comprehend the panorama in the sublimity of its oneness. What we need is a mental gyration on the heel. We need so rapid a revolution of all things around the central point of sight that, while the minutiae vanish altogether, even the more conspicuous objects are blended into one. Among the vanishing minutiae in a survey of this kind would be all exclusively terrestrial matter. The Earth would be seen in its planetary relations alone. A man in this view becomes mankind. Mankind, a member of the cosmical family of intelligences. Let us begin then at once with that merest of words, infinity, which is by no means the expression of an idea, but of an effort at one. It stands for the possible attempt at an impossible conception, and is therefore the representative but of a thought, of a thought. May be more or less difficult, but it is either possible or not possible. There are no gradations. A man may jump 10 feet with less difficulty than he can jump 20. But the impossibility of his leaping to the moon is not a whit less than his leaping to the dog star. Only intuition can aid us. With this understanding, I now assert that an intuition altogether irresistible, although inexpressible, forces me to the conclusion that what God originally created, that matter which by dint of his volition he first made from his spirit or from nihility, must have been matter in its utmost conceivable state of what? Of simplicity? Let us now endeavor to conceive of what matter must be in its absolute extreme of simplicity. Hear the reason flies at once to imparticularity, to a particle of one kind, of one character, of one nature, of one size, of one form, a particle, therefore, without form and void, a particle, positively a particle at all points, a particle absolutely unique, undivided, and not indivisible, only because he who created it by dint of his will can, with an infinitely less energetic exercise of that same will, divide it. Pause with me for a moment in contemplation of the miraculous, of the altogether unimaginable complexity of relation involved in the fact that each atom attracts every other atom in a wilderness of atoms so numerous, those which go to the composition of a cannonball exceeds probably all the stars which go to the constitution of the universe. I am but pausing for a moment on the awful threshold of the future. We see them in the incipient stages of their consolidation. Their absolute consolidation is to come. Moons have been revolving about planets, planets about stars, and the poetical instinct of humanity, a revolution of all the orbs of the galaxy, about some gigantic globe, each cluster in the great cluster of clusters, revolving about yet a still more magnificent series of agglomerations, gyrating about yet another globe central to them. Some globe yet more unspeakably sublime. Some globe of infinite sublimity, endlessly multiplied by the infinitely sublime. It is the poetical essence of the universe, which in the supremeness of its symmetry is but the most sublime of poems. Now, symmetry and consistency are convertible terms. Thus, poetry and truth are one. A thing is true in the ratio of its consistency, and consistent in the ratio of its truth. A perfect consistency can be nothing but an absolute truth. And now, with a 1,000-fold electric velocity, commensurate only with their material grandeur and with the spiritual passion for their appetite for oneness, the majestic remnants of the tribe of stars flash at length into a common embrace. The inevitable catastrophe is at hand. No thinking being lives who at some luminous point in his life of thought has not felt himself lost amid the surges of futile efforts at understanding or believing that anything exists greater than his own soul. The utter impossibility of any one soul feeling itself inferior to another. Nothing is or can be greater than any one soul. Each soul is, in part, its own God, its own creator. That God, the material and spiritual God, now exists in the diffused matter and spirit of the universe. And the regathering of that diffused matter and spirit will be the reconstitution of the purely spiritual and individual God. The universe is but his present expansive existence. He now feels his life through an infinity of imperfect pleasures, which are but infinite individualizations of himself. These creatures too are more or less conscious intelligences. Conscious first of a proper identity. Conscious secondly, and by faint, indeterminate glimpses of an identity with the divine being of whom we speak. Think that the sense of individual identity will gradually merge into the general consciousness. That man, for example, ceasing imperceptibly to feel himself man, will attain that awfully triumphant epoch when he will recognize his existence as that of Jehovah. In the meantime, bear in mind that all is life. Life within life. The less within the greater, and all